Busy first week of March in D.C. Let's jump right into it with Drew Petrimo from Washington. Drew, President Trump appearing to be losing some support from Republican senators over his emergency declaration for the border wall. Is it going to be enough to make a difference, though?
Well, right now it looks like it is. Over the weekend we heard from Kentucky Senator Rand Paul. He's kind of more of a libertarian-leaning senator. He announced over the weekend that he, too, was going to join this chorus of Republicans that said they will support a resolution that would cancel out the president's emergency declaration. That means there are the votes in the Senate, presuming all Democrats vote along with those Republicans. It'll be interesting to see over the next several days if more Republicans sign their name to that list. But eventually that might not do much, because the problem is the president has already promised to veto this resolution, and there's not many people in Washington that think there is a veto override amount of support in either the House or Senate.
Enough to send a message, but not enough to be veto-proof, so to speak.
Yeah, and the thing is that message might be something that resonates later on. There's various court challenges of the emergency declaration, and if, you know, the people that are suing the Trump administration over this can go to the judge and say, not only is this the president circumventing Congress by spending money that wasn't allocated, there was also this resolution that directly showed the disapproval of Congress of this spending power. So it could be another tool in the shed for people that are trying to challenge the president's emergency declaration in court.
We also have the case of the woman who left Alabama, left the United States in 2014 to marry an ISIS fighter, publicly supported the ISIS cause, now going to federal court in Washington today trying to come home. You have been in the court hearing. Where does all this stand at this point?
So today, the big issue that the judge was trying to get at was whether or not this case should be moved along in an expedited fashion. The lawyers for Hoda Mathana say that she's sitting in this Syrian refugee camp and that her life is in danger. They say that she's had to move around several times because there are ISIS sympathizers in that camp, and they have put a threat on her life because she has since renounced the group, says she wants to return to the United States. Lawyers for the government, who are arguing that she shouldn't even be allowed back in this country, are saying that all this notion that she's facing some kind of imminent threat of violence or danger is all just speculation based on news reports, and that there's nothing concrete that the judge can go off of to stray from the normal course of action in a case like this. And that ultimately the judge agreed to that. He said that, look, there might be some circumstances that could be a little dicey for her in that situation, but in order for him to, completely throw out the normal course of business, they would need more evidence. Now what we get to is the case at hand, and really the crux of this argument is whether Hoda Mathana is actually a citizen. The government argues that her father was a Yemeni diplomat when she was born, and therefore she's not entitled to the birthright citizenship rights that somebody born in the United States would normally get. Her lawyers say that her father had been terminated from that diplomatic post prior to her birth. She has been and she is right now and has always been a U.S. citizen, and therefore is due the due process rights and other protections that U.S. Citizens are afforded.
A case with so many layers. Drew, thank you so much for sorting it all out for us.